Yeah, it says schedule. Oh, now it says live.
Sam. So, guys, I just screwed up big time. Is like, hey, Rashish Taylor's the one that told me this. He said, "Hey, bro, I don't see you live." Anyway, hey guys, we're live here. 17 seconds into this. Sorry,
We've been having a great conversation.
It was a great convo.
Completely missed out on.
We told you guys exactly what to do, and if you missed it, it was 3 minutes ago. We've been sitting here chatting for 30 fucking minutes, going over charts, and I am so sorry, guys. I'm such an amateur. Sam, where the hell are you? You're supposed to be watching this thing. I'll be here to help you, dude. Anyway, Chris, thanks for joining me. Man, I don't even know if we're going to start over and do this again, but we actually, could you pull that chart up and go back over Saturday and talk about what we were talking about? Because I just had this cognition that was really cool, and we realized we weren't even taping. So let's see if I can get that back up for you. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, man. I'm so sorry.
No, hey, man, not a problem at all. I've been here so many times before, man, so. But hey, look at y'all. Look how much Gary loves you. He's going to let this happen again. You're not going to miss it. So, hey.
Well, no, this is important, though, because I called you up this weekend, I think, and I said, hey, do you notice this market went ballistic 11 minutes after he got shot? And you actually put a whole chart together on it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So the big thing here, two things. The one thing is that the trend was established back here on July 4th, right here, this swing low. So we had, prior to the incident, right here was the assassination attempt. And so we had basically almost 9 days of movement that had peaked out at about 11.2% rally already prior to it happening, right? And so we can see that we had this previous support becomes resistance here. And then locally, we have this small accumulation range right here. Now, what we had here is we had a dip down below the range before it rockets back up. And this dip is what we call a spring when you have an accumulation or reaccumulation range. It is the move that kind of catches the breakout traders, the breakdown traders. It fools them, it fools the market into retail, basically, into thinking that price is going to go down. So y'all short on the breakdown below support, which, is what you're taught to do. Not necessarily what you should do, but it's the general thing that's online that you guys find for free everywhere. And so it catches you there and it shoots right back up. Immediately you're underwater. You have to cover your shorts and go long if you want to get in it, or it goes up. You're too heavily leveraged and it hits your liquidation pretty quick. But what happens here is, so overall, we were expecting price to kind of head up, continue heading up anyway, because the trend is up. And you can notice that we do have these higher lows up here toward this resistance. And then we had the range here developing as this, what appeared here with the volume and price action as a reaccumulation, going to head up higher. So overall, my expectation was that we would continue higher anyway. We did get a strong reaction, though, a reaction off the news of the assassination attempt, a positive reaction. I like to see this from Bitcoin. I like to see that when there's potentially something bad that happens, people go into Bitcoin. And this is something Gary was talking about as well. We like to see that. My big thing was, do we continue up? Because you're going to get a lot of knee-jerk reactions to news events, okay? Because, again, most of the market are the bigger players, and many of them, much of them, run algorithms that parse news events, and they look for specific words, and they're trained to look at those words and go, okay, are these words together here bullish or bearish, likely bullish or bearish for the market? And they automatically buy or sell. And so that's why you'll often get an immediate knee-jerk reaction move in price when it goes, when there's a news event, guys, okay? So we had the initial movement. So this is great. It hits this resistance up here. And my thinking here was, okay, do we get follow through now? Now, I expected us to get follow through because, again, that's what I was looking for coming off the low here, still heading up higher. But that's what we got. We rallied up a little bit further, pulled back, we rallied up. And so what's happened now? Well, again, prior to the assassination attempt here, we had already rallied just over 11%. Since it, we've rallied, we just went here a little bit higher here, almost 12%. So we've had a great, in total off the swing low here, we've rallied almost 22%. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So, hey, where you are right before the rally started back last week, Friday. No, go backwards. I want to just remind the audience, and we went through all this for 30 minutes, guys. So I just think it's important. It's probably boring for me and Chris, but my bad on the mechanical stuff and not hitting the live thing. We've been live a whole 5 minutes and 14 seconds now, Chris. But if you look to the left of the first blue vertical line, I just wanted to remind everyone there was 44,000 Bitcoin dumped by the German government horrifically. I mean, in the most poorly signal way, which drove Bitcoin. Maybe it didn't solely drive it down. My bid was definitely $1,000 cheaper than it normally would have been, as I'm setting bids there, knowing that they're a seller. So I do believe that some of that selling drove that price down to this point, and we've had a 22% move since then. Right? You're saying basically assassination attempt wouldn't happen. We'd still be pretty much in the same zone today.
Yeah, we would have rallied up higher. I'm not sure we would be right here just yet, or maybe we'd be higher, but yeah, overall we would have continued higher is what I believe would have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think this 53.7 is a point that's going to be hard to visit again? Or are we going to try to visit it? If we were to visit that number again, how long does that take for us to go play with that?
Right now, I don't believe we do. And the reason being here, we had some things happen. So again, we've got this range, this descending range here. And we had this move down below here. What it did was it took this liquidity off this May 1st swing low. So it took that liquidity off there, dropped down into this, what we call a fair value gap right here. And so it's a low volume node. So these are all the things that are happening at one point here. And I always tell people, don't enter a trade just because there's a chance. Look for a higher confidence trade, which means multiple things happening at once that make it more likely than not that you're going to be correct in what you think is going to happen. So this is the setup. We've got all these things happening. We have this, what we call a pin bar candle here, which closed right around the S1 pivot. So we say that the S1 pivot held this support, pin bar on support. It also dipped just below the range low here. So again, in terms of Wyckoff, we're looking at this volume decline all the way through this range here, spike of volume as we get down here to the range low here, large demand wick, suggests this is a spring. So we've got all this happening at this one area. Also, we had bullish divergence happening between the low on June 24th and the low here on July 5th. So we had higher lows here. Let me pull this up. We had higher lows here in oversold, and price was lower lows at that same point. So that's what we call a bullish divergence. Divergences can happen anywhere in the oscillator, but they're strongest when they happen in oversold or overbought. So again, we have all these things happening right here. Man, this suggests it's probably the low. Now, since then, the other thing that's happened is we've rallied up impulsively and closed yesterday above the daily pivot here. We got a spike of volume with that large candle spread. Is what we like to see. Today we did dip back down, but just to the range EQ so far, and we're trying to close back above this. So if we can close back above this and we can kind of break out a little bit higher here, I think we're probably heading right up toward this R1 pivot on the daily descending range resistance, right around 70 to 71,000 on that. But if we do kind of close down here, we kind of break down further, then I'm just looking for a pullback down here toward this 59.5, 60,000 area. And I would be looking for a reason to go long at that area to head up for the breakout. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. I like what I'm seeing so far here. I like the pullback hits this support level at the EQ, rallies back up. We're leaving this long demand wick. It's showing that buyers are there. Buyers are showing up in spite of the fact we've already had all this rally. Buyers continue to show up. We know ETFs have done incredibly well for a few weeks now again. We just had another 302 million inflows yesterday. And so, I mean, if you need narratives, right? If you're trading or investing and you're looking for narratives, I mean, there are some there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on there. So I'm hard pressed to be bearish. I've been pretty consistent about the idea that this is, even though my range has changed a little bit over the last few months, still that the volume and price action really are screaming reaccumulation in this area here. We're not seeing my biggest thing. Here's my biggest thing, guys. Listen, if this was to be distribution, what we're going to look for is we're going to look for hard, lot of volume coming in at these swing highs. And what you'll notice is we're not really getting that. Volume overall through the range just continues to die off all the way down. What that's showing you is there's not a lot of conviction in selling, right? When we look here, we expect larger and larger candle spreads. We expect volume to expand all through here. It's barely moved up from where it's at. It's just been a few spikes along the way. The biggest one, obviously, down here at the low, which left a large demand wick. So when I'm looking at that, I'm really hard pressed to go, man, this distribution, the market is not showing us that it is. And
Chris,
that doesn't mean something can't. Go ahead.
Are you looking at any of the miners? I mean, the miners are just.
Oh, miners are crazy, man. Miners, geez,
it's so really impressive. Now, I've never invested. If you could go to the Cipher CIFR.
I actually got that chart.
Dude, like I've never been in these miners and I've never done the mining on the gold, even though I've held the underlying. I know all these gold guys have chased the miners before. I mean, this stock's up. This stock's up in what? That was Friday. Friday was trading at 442. It's at 654 right now.
It's had a great week, and we're only a couple of days in.
41, and it's at 653, dude, on big volume.
Yeah. It's been a great week. We've broken out above the again. These are weekly candles here. We're up some like 30% right now, I believe, on the week. Yeah, 30, maybe 36.
Just so everybody knows, do you own any of this stuff? Because I do own some of it.
I don't own Cipher, no.
Okay. I like people to know somebody's in a trade,
Yeah, no, for sure.
How far can this thing go, dude? Like in 6 months, I mean, where do the miners go? Because I've not been here before. Well, I was here, but I just didn't pay any attention to them.
Yeah, I'm still looking for them to go higher. Again, I've been a huge proponent for miners since right around this, the swing low back there, right around, was that December 22, or depending which miner it is, maybe it was a bit in 23. But as they kind of hit these lows, man, I was, again, I was big about Bitcoin. As we hit November there, we hit that low. Ethereum in the June, because I was initially good with Bitcoin in June, and then we didn't have follow through. And then we had the FTX thing coming through. But once November was, I was like, man, this looks like this is it. I was as vocal as I could be, publicly about it. But miners, man, I was all about Bitcoin miners. And they have just been, I mean, it's been crazy. Like, had you bought even after the close here, and just held to right now, let me kind of get this up here a little bit. Cipher's rallied 1,091%, almost 11 times. And most of them have done that, or a lot of them have done that, 11, 12, 13 times. Clean Spark was one of the big ones I talked about.
Yeah, but Chris, how many people pick this low? I mean, I got it, like maybe a guy like Alfred collected this stuff. He's sitting on the boards and he's collecting these. But I can't remember the last time I bought a low. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I'm a rich guy, and I cannot remember the last time I bought the low and sold the top.
Yeah.
So
most people don't.
First thing is, like, I do not measure my success over me buying waiting to buy the lows and being perfect.
Yeah.
Like, don't you guys don't think that's required? Okay, it is not required. I own Cipher at $3.86, dude, and it's gone up. What? It's at 654.
650. Yeah.
I've held it for 4 months, bro.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't hold it for a year and get a quadruple. I've held it for 4 months and got a double. Right? Like, I like those trades. The question now is, how much further does it go? How long do I hold on to it? See, I want to hold on to it for at least a year because I want the capital gains. Yeah. I need a difference between 32 and 42. I need 10% difference in this stock just to make up for the tax.
Yeah.
delta, right?
Yeah.
But I've just never seen anything move like this, dude. I mean, I own $1 million worth of these miners, and they've gone up like 80%.
Yeah. Yeah. They've been huge in the past few weeks. A lot of them have gone up 30%.
Well, normally I would look at this and go, fine, dude. I mean, like, this is a big move in a very short period of time. Maybe I need to trim, but I think trimming here would be really stupid right now.
Yeah. Again, it all depends on, what, and I think this is the big thing, when people come in, they just kind of buy and sell, but they don't really understand. They haven't sat down with themselves and said, okay, well, what am I doing here? What is my game plan? A lot of people, unfortunately, come into trading, and this is why they end up losing a lot of money, is because they don't put in the effort to the boring stuff, right? You're not learning proper risk management. You're not learning that you need to have a game plan. You're not learning. It's just the same things you would do with anything else in life that you wanted to excel at, that you wanted to get a really good return out of what you were doing. Because it's so easy just to come in there and buy and sell. So a lot of it depends on what you're looking to do. I think if somebody's wanting to hold miners for another year, I don't think you touch it. I think if you're in now, you just kind of hold on with this and you ride with it, because they're going to continue to rally higher, especially as Bitcoin continues to go higher, right? They're more of that beta play, to Bitcoin itself. And so,
now for the audience, when you say beta play to Bitcoin itself, what do you mean by beta play?
Just basically that they're gonna react a lot stronger. So, if Bitcoin was to go up 20%, they might go up, I don't know, 30% or 40% or 100% or something. But the idea is just that you're going to get a lot bigger movement out of them.
Both ways too. Both ways.
Yeah, both ways. It's always both ways. Yeah. So, Bitcoin's been doing the sideways thing here for months now. Looks like it's finally ready to maybe kind of head out of here. Doesn't mean it happens tomorrow or maybe even this month. It might take a while to head up there and pull back. In August, we might get the push out. But overall, when we're looking at that and we're looking at miners and with what miners have done already, we kind of look for them to follow in with it. So I think a year out is probably a pretty good metric to use. And, if you're in now, I think you just kind of hold on for that. And you just, there's going to be pullbacks along the way, but there's also going to be more of these 30% weeks and, and greater coming out. Again, many of these miners did 11, 12, 13X in the first year, 8 months, year off the swing low. And they should continue, moving up higher with that. A lot of them look really good. There's a few that are, looking a little slow at the moment. But, you got like Cypher, we had Iron shot up and then Iron took a dip, Iris Energy there, because homeboy came out, the short seller came out and said, oh, well, that new facility there in Texas isn't equipped for AI. And Iron came back. I said, well, we didn't intend to use it for AI. We're basically Bitcoin. This is going to be Bitcoin. Our West Texas facility is where we're going to, where we're doing the AI. But that's why, if anybody's wondering why Iron had that, that sudden drop after it had rallied so well just recently, that's why. But, and it just goes to show, you got people out there, short sellers and big name people that can get heard that still aren't paying attention, or potentially, I don't know, potentially, producing FUD of their own. You got to be careful with that with stocks, obviously, legal trouble there. But,
well,
yeah.
Speaking of stocks, what is the rest of the legacy market, equities, bonds, reacting in the same way Bitcoin's acting right now?
Yeah. So the Dow is up something like 600 points today, I believe. We've got, this is the futures for the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 are small cap stocks. These are not your Googles or your Adobe or your Apple or your Microsoft or anything like that. It's definitely not your Nvidia. But those that have been following me know I've been talking about this for a while. And I especially said down here when we had this little dip below, I was saying this looked like accumulation. If we got a good rally out of this, that would suggest this was likely a spring and we were going to new all-time highs. And we've done extremely well since then, since that swing low there, up almost 40%. And that was since, what is that?
A year.
The end of October of 2023.
Yeah, I remember when you were talking about this a year ago, man. You were talking about this and the treasury play. What, TTL?
Yeah.
And I think I remember you and Melker both looking at this, and I remember Melker saying, "Hey, man, this Russell 2000 looks really, really cheap."
Yeah.
And both of you agreeing. I said, "Wow, I've never traded those indexes like that. That's very interesting. 42% increase, dude, in the year. That's a very good trade.
Yeah.
A
Not even a
monster
year.
trade.
Yeah. 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 It's been huge.
Yeah,
And
9 months.
we've got further to go here. I mean, I think we get at least
I mean,
23.39.
not as good as Cypher, 40% in 4 months.
Well, no, but but still, you can't. You know, it's
dude,
hard
you
to
need
complain
all
about
these.
it, you know?
Good to have all these, right? I'll take a
Yeah,
40% over
exactly.
10 months and a 40% in 4 months. I want them
Yeah, and I
all,
think
man.
the important thing is just that we see that liquidity is flowing. You know, it's flowing to
Correct.
small cap, it's flowing to Bitcoin, it's flowing, crypto. It's even flowing to some of the big ones as well. Amazon and Apple looking, good with their thing. Tesla recently has been doing well. Off its swing low, everybody's very, very bearish on it. And I was talking about it being a likely bottom. Let me see. I don't know if I think about a chart here. Let me see.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, Aiden says, "Can't believe Gary is hosting a space with the title of small caps." Hey, you know what? Not every day is Bitcoin going to be like, I ain't going to talk about Bitcoin every day, guys. It's going to get so boring.
There's only so much you can say about it, right?
Well, listen, I'm quite certain that I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin when it's $10 trillion. But I'm not going to talk about every little minor movement to get us there. So I thought this weekend was very interesting and very instructive. Just to see oh, wow, you have one market open and it's moving. See, I think that's the power of Bitcoin. It's like, whoa, Saturday afternoon, look at what's happening, dude. 11 minutes after this, people are going, I think I'm up. See, to me, this is a very good advertisement. Once we get through the Band-Aids and the blood and the flags, what happened Saturday, dude? That was a very good advertisement for Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
if they can do it to a president, dude, they can do it to you in Texas, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see, the stocks at some point getting to maybe 24/7 trading as well.
Oh, they have to, dude. They have to, but see, they have to tokenize them.
Well, but here's the thing. We've got that new exchange starting up here in Texas and in Dallas, right? The Lone Star Exchange.
Is that approved? Is that like actually going ahead, or was it a balloon flyer? I thought they were testing a concept out.
Well, they've got the money there to get it going. They're filing all that paperwork they have to do with the SEC, answering the questions with all that. But their expectation, I mean, they think they're going to get it, and they think that it's going to be that they'll be trading, next year. And
dude, I think that it's time to have a digital, a digital hub for trading, right? Because they're going to compete with Wall Street. Make no mistake about it. This is what I keep saying, game theory. They're going to look. Larry Fink is not, he didn't grow up on Wall Street. He's an outsider.
Yeah.
Like he built this business 20 years ago. It's not like he's been on Wall Street since he was 12. So why wouldn't he want to take a big part of Wall Street's earnings that are just like sloppy, inefficient? Markets are. Do you know how much money they would make, dude, by being open 24/7?
Oh man, it's insane. And Fink and them, BlackRock is something like, I think they're up to 10.5 trillion AUM now.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Crypto Bad Fox. Y'all need to follow Crypto Bad Fox because she can instruct you what to do. Hit the damn like button, man. Dang. So you're going to pull up. Oh, look at Tesla.
Yeah. So we've got Tesla here, and Tesla has been something I've been talking about. And we were looking for a rally off this area here at around 150, and that's done extremely well. We've got that rally up to 270 so far. I think, we kind of continue higher here. I've got a local target right here of about 298 before we get another pullback, and then potentially up to around 341. But yeah, I mean, everybody, the really cool thing is once you start understanding how and why markets move the way they do, once you get into and you accept that the markets, that what we see on the charts are just a visual representation of human emotion, of that pull between fear and greed in the aggregate, it's just basically what is social mood. And once people are really able to wrap their head around that, and you start seeing this, then you start understanding when sentiment is sour or when sentiment is really good. You have a lot of people that'll get online on social media, and they'll talk about, oh, it's so much bearish sentiment or so much bullish sentiment, but a lot of what they're seeing is curated to them by the platform, right? The algorithms that the platform's using, sending them what it thinks they want to see and what they want to read and what they want to be a part of. But once you can kind of figure that, understand that, and then you really accept. It's a hard thing for most people to do, is to really understand that it's social mood that's pushing the charts. If people are voting with their dollars, the quickest way we understand how people feel is through the markets. Because if they're feeling good, they're going to take that money and put it in the market. If they're feeling bad, if they're worried, they're going to take that money out of the market. It is the absolute closest thing we have to understanding how society, how the social mood is at that time. And that is really the driver, right? Everything else we look at, the government numbers, all that other stuff, they're all lagging. They all come out afterward. And people are trying to base their trading decisions on those lagging numbers, which may or may not even be correct. Who's massaging the numbers? How many times is the government going to change the formula they use for CPI or whatever else they're doing? And so once you get to this other point and you start looking at it the way that I do, the way that Fibbo does, I see you putting him on there. I see him. It really opens you up to not looking so linearly at the market, right? It's not like a linear thing. It's all of a sudden, it's this understanding of this is how people are feeling, and how they feel determines how these companies are going to do, right? Because if society, if social mood is worried, is concerned, is scared, they're not going to keep putting money into the markets. And if they're not putting money into the markets, these companies aren't going to continue to expand. They're not going to continue to produce. They're going to pull back.
So what is your outlook? What is this chart telling you on Tesla?
On Tesla, I think we continue up higher. It looks like the bottom is likely in down here. And if so, if this is correct here, again, I've got this as a flat correction. This actually gives us an $801.50 target based off the height here of this correction from the highest point to the lowest point of the correction. We have a pattern target of about $800.
That's a triple from here? 2.5 times?
Let's see. We're 250 right now. We're 250. Yeah.
Triple.
So
the market cap of Tesla.
Yeah, it ends up.
What's the market cap of Tesla? About 2 billion?
God,
no, 2
something
trillion.
Like that. I don't even know. Yeah, it's huge.
No, not 2 trillion. No, it's smaller than Bitcoin.
What is it?
What is the market cap of Tesla?
Yeah, see, I don't keep up with all that all the time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what a triple would be. Anything else that you're following on the equity side that's really interesting? We've got a few questions in here, like interest rates from the Fed in September, what that's going to do. To me, that's going to be positive. Maybe not be positive, because I think it's going to probably get bought as we expect that to happen, right? So you could have a sell-off.
Yeah, there's 100%. I think the markets right now 100% pricing in a quarter of a quarter. What do you call it? Drop.
A bit. Yeah. 800 billion is the market cap, evidently. So that'd be a $2.5 trillion market cap. That probably makes sense in the $1 trillion era. That makes. I mean, that's where we're at. I remember when billionaires.
It's crazy.
Well, dude, just 20 years ago, to be a billionaire, you were unique.
Yeah.
And now we've moved into trillionaire. See, that shows you what these zeros do.
Yeah.
When you add these zeros, it only takes 20 years to get to the next 3 zeros, because it's just the law of big numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all it is. And it's because we're getting more and more liquidity, pumped into the economy and whatnot. There's a lot more dollars out there. When there's more dollars out there, people want somewhere to put them. And so we're going to put them, we're going to put them in Bitcoin. We're going to put them in stocks. We're going to put them, someplace where they can make us money. If you're smart. If you're not so smart, you're putting it into cars and vacations, houses. I was going to let you say that.
Yeah. Well, I think vacations. Listen. I think vacations are, I've never paid too much for a great adventure, and I do think that people need to go on great adventure. To me, they're the greatest memory. I don't have enough memories. I don't know any rich, super rich people that have too many great memories. I've yet to meet one person that said they had too many great memories and too many great experiences. Whether they cost a lot of money or not, it's not relevant. Are they great experiences? So to me, that's the first thing. And then to be able to look, I need my money to work. I can't have it. Like I have hardly any money sitting in the bank account right now. It's like, and sometimes I look at it and go, I get really nervous, but you know, it keeps me really alive. And I don't need money in the bank. Like I just need to be able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
And everything else needs to be generating energy.
Yeah.
Like people need to think y'all been miseducated. A dollar bill is nothing but a store of energy. And if it's sitting in a bank, it's just sitting there. It's doing nothing. You have to convert it into something. You either invest it in somebody that you think can do better than you, or into a company, or into a thing that has some value. You know?
Invest in yourself.
Totally, dude. $1,000. Go
to other things. Yeah.
Read 5 books, right? I mean, this is not, and it's not expensive. Okay. Right. People go, hey, I got $10,000. Bro, $500 will buy you 50 books.
Yeah.
Okay. Like within a month, you can know a lot more than you know right now. And that's before you go get on YouTube and do all this other stuff that's available. I mean, your program alone, what do you charge for your program for a year?
Yeah. So if you get it for a year, it's $39.97. So about $4,000.
A month?
No, for the year.
$4 grand. Yeah. $350 a month. Dude.
Yeah.
Go on. It's anything like that. It's like I have rarely gone to an event that I paid for my education and not learned something.
Yeah.
Now I've been to negotiation seminars and I'm like 3 hours into it. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. I want my money back because it's just dumb.
Yeah.
But that's rare. That's rare that I go to something and don't learn something from it. Anything else in the markets? What are the crypto bros? I'm talking the real degens, dude. Those Dubai boys. What is this? Is the crypto bros just gonna go crazy?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, are we gonna have a monster degen rally?
Yeah, no, I think okay, so yeah, let me show you let me see if I can find a chart here. I've actually got the alt chart here, the alt dominance. Let me see if this thing will pull it up here for me.
While you're pulling that up, I think I just heard Chris say he's a perma Tesla bear, and that he thinks Tesla is going to probably triple. He didn't give us a timeline, but y'all did hear that, right? A triple on Tesla. I was with Kathy last week. Dude, she's so bullish Tesla. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
well, people are going to give her a hard time because they're giving a hard time because she sold NVIDIA pretty low there, and it's done so exceedingly well. It's hard to be public. It's hard to be a public figure out there, and you're putting it on the line, and people know, and it's all about the long game, and it's one trade, and here's the thing. Here's the one thing. In life, especially in trading, you're going to miss most of the big things. You're going to miss most of them, period, end of sentence. But people come in thinking they're going to hit them. And that's where the disconnect comes. If you focus, instead of just trying to get all the big ones, just being in the market, finding, your base hits along the way, a lot more. If you focus on that, you're going to catch some big ones. You're going to be in the market when the big ones hit. But more importantly, you're going to continually be locking in, as you and I have talked about before, those profits, and then time and compounding is what's going to do all the heavy lifting, going to do all the work for you. So it's people will give her a hard time, but it's a tough thing what she's doing there.
Yeah, for sure. And she's public. I mean, anyway, you're going to pull up this the altcoin dominance. I think.
Yeah, the altcoin index here. I can't find it in my charts. I don't know what's going on here, but I've been talking about it lately. Wait, maybe I found it. How I thought we maybe hit the low here recently, the pullback, and we were going to see alt start kind of going. Let me see here. Let me see if it pulls up. TradeView give me a bit of a hard time lately.
No problem.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, so
do you want me to remove, or you're putting this. Oh no, you don't want me to remove this. No.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it. I had it in a different one there. Let me see. We got it up there. There we go. Yeah. So this is total 2 here on the weekly. And so this has been really good. We have this great accumulation over here back there around November of 22. Volume was perfect as we wanted. Came out through here, did well. Here's the pullback. And so this right here, on the weekly, we've got this swing low here, and we've recovered over that candle, over that weekly candle. We've now recovered all that loss here in just over a week later. And so looking for this total 2 chart here. Let me see here. Probably up there about 1.636 trillion based off the height of this pullback right here. So that's kind of where I'm looking for it to head up to here.
That's a 60%.
So real quick, if I drop it here, I think it's probably a 3. Yeah, and that's just the beginning because that's 3, that's 4. That would be 5 here, which is this is 1, 2. That's 5 of 3 then. So then we'd look for a pullback down here, probably toward this 950 million to get a 4. And then we'd look for a 5 popping out even higher up there. Let me just see here. If we actually hit this target and we pull back, that's going to give us about 981 million is the initial target. Could get down to 839, but probably closer to that 981. And then we'd get the move back out here. Probably closer to 2.25, almost 2.25 trillion on that.
Yeah, strong double.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm liking that there. You know, it was a great setup coming out of the low here. You know, it's basically a double bottom here, rallied up, came back. We retested this previous resistance here, support, took right off big candles again up into this previous resistance, pull back, previous resistance is support. Here we go again. So, I mean, I'm liking it. I think it looks great. So I think, you know, everybody's been waiting for alts and alts, but you know, something I've talked about, you know, I've talked about more than a few times this year is that, and it's the same thing that the Bitwise guys came out and, you know, said that they feel the same way, which is that this was going to be, you know, every cycle it's usually been Bitcoin, you know, the large caps into the mid caps into the small caps into the micros back in larger rotation, right? But this time it's going to be a lot more, and I believe, and I continue to believe, of everything kind of rallying, right? So you're not going to have that same kind of movement. What you're going to have is Bitcoin's going to go up and alts are going to go up with it as well. You're not going to have that same kind of rotation that we've had. Now, when it does, you know, I think you kind of look at what's the story. You know, is it meme coins? Is it whatever at that time? You know, we had meme coins rallying pretty well there. But ultimately, I think we've got altcoins continuing to rally with Bitcoin rather than rotating back and forth between them. And so, again, you know, I think if you're trading altcoins, I think there's a good chance you might get caught. You might fall behind as Bitcoin just kind of rockets off and, you know, heads higher as well. So
what would be the indicator for you of that?
Of what?
Of Bitcoin, people being in a secondary token and then having Bitcoin run away from it and outperform what it's done in prior years.
I'm having trouble understanding the question, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I thought I heard you say, hey, you know, you could be in some secondary tokens and think that these alts were going to run, when in reality, this cycle could be Bitcoin could outperform that. It wouldn't have the same, the dominance on Bitcoin would be much more significant this time. Now it looks to me like you might just have a bunch of degen money stay in the degen market, and then the institutional money drives Bitcoin.
Exactly.
It could just stay the same, but it just means the degens are just not buying Bitcoin, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
That's the point you're making. Because you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to own Dogecoin, but you won't be able to afford Bitcoin. Yeah,
you're going to miss before the opportunity was, hey, listen, I can go ride Dogecoin and then get out of it and then get back into Bitcoin before Bitcoin goes up. So I can, you know, as Bitcoin's pulling back, I can make money on Dogecoin going up. And then as Dogecoin's pulling back, I can make money on Bitcoin going up.
Yeah.
And just kind of multiply your returns. But now I think you're going to get where they're both kind of continuing to rally as they've done already, meme coins and whatever. And it's not that the alts won't outperform Bitcoin, but I think you're going to have to be a lot more selective than what you have in the past. And the point is, you're still going to have to get into Bitcoin higher. You're not going to get what you were able to do before, which was be able to take the profit and then have it pull back and then get profit over that part you've already rallied. And in the meantime, have made money with Bitcoin or alts as well. So I just think the way in which you're going to profit is differently this time. You're going to do it around the same way. You're not going to get to make exponential returns on money that you've already made through areas of movement with price already. You're not going to make money through the same price movements again and again. And in the meantime, when they have that pullback, being in altcoins and making money there as well.
Yeah. I've got a couple of questions here. One in particular I thought was really interesting from a lady. She says, is Bitcoin a good point to buy here, or should I wait till January of 2025? I can't find her comment now. But.
Yeah, see, that's, again, guys, with stuff like that, it really depends on what is your plan. You have to have a plan. Okay. If you're just jumping in and you don't have a plan of what you're doing, then you can't really figure out, okay, should I be doing this or should I not be doing that? Is it going to be better to do this or to do that? So you actually have to sit down and figure out, okay, who am I if you're a trader or an investor, who are you as a trader or investor? What is your current, and I say this to all the time, especially our students. I said, you've got to know and you have to be honest with yourself about this. What is your current income? What's your current wealth level? What is your short, mid, and long-term income and wealth targets? What are you looking to do? Then you have to figure out, okay, how many hours a day do I have to do this? And of those hours a day, how many do I actually want to do it? You can have 10 hours a day, but you only want to spend 2 hours doing it. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about this. And then the biggest question, the hardest one for most people to answer is, am I risk tolerant or risk adverse?
Yeah.
I'm quite risk adverse. You won't see me jumping out there with these Hail Mary, oh my God, I hope it works. There's a 1 in a million chance this is going to go thing. I hit base hits all day, every day. That's what I work to do. That's my bread and butter. And that gets me where I need to go. But if you don't answer all those questions honestly with yourself first, it's going to give you false answers, which means you're going to approach the market in a way that's not going to be beneficial to you. And it's going to actually probably lose you money or make you a lot less money than you could have made, because you'll do one thing when you should have done another. So before you guys do anything, you have to figure this out. Don't just jump in the market and buy and sell. Figure out who you are. What are you doing? It's in life. In life, you should have goals in life.
Yeah, if you don't figure out who you are in a military engagement, in a business, or in like, this is just, you have to do that no matter what the role is.
Yeah.
In trading in particular, I think a lot of people can have careers and they don't do this. Like Crypto Bad Fox, my new little friend here, got to have an entry plan, a goal, and an exit strategy. Most people never create an exit strategy for their career.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, this is a systemic problem that people they don't apply basics. Okay. You don't have an exit strategy for your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You don't have an exit strategy for your career. You don't have an exit strategy for your equity investments or your money or your death. Are you going to exit this earth with grace and respect, or your kid's going to be like, having to sell themselves to bury you? Right. I mean, you have to do some planning. Now, I'm not good on this exit strategy part. I'm probably not good at, and this is where I know myself well enough to go, probably need to talk to somebody about this, because I have a blind spot. See, because Chris and I are very different. Now, I have done this, taken some flyers. Like he said, he never does that. I have thrown more money away. But most of that's because I haven't really ever gotten stuck on money. Because I know, and maybe even subconsciously, I've never wanted to be a billionaire, because I'll get lazy, dude. I kind of need to be hungry. And that's why I don't keep much money in the bank, because I don't want to see big numbers just sitting there I don't have to go on TV today, you know? I mean, some of this is not about me needing to, some of this is healthy for me to stay engaged intellectually, right? So I don't have to dig a ditch out there. I can literally work 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, create my own environment. And to Chris's point, hey, do you want to do this? Do you really want to look at these charts in this micro detail for hours and hours? Because you can't just look at one chart. To trade, you have to look at everything. So these are really basic. To me, trading is a beautiful, for me, that was my first career. And I had to learn real basics, because the cool thing about trading is you literally can commit hara-kiri in trading. And like the burn on trading is much faster than a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Dude, you find out very quickly, and there's a little that you can do about it. Okay. It can be, there is no negotiation, especially in Bitcoins. Like, you're liquidated. Thank you very much for your business today. Hopefully you don't blow your brains out. Right. So this exit strategy, this is why I was asking them about the miners. Hey, you know, how long do you, if you put 800 grand into miners and you've made, and you can exit for $1.5 million in 4 months, like I realized, oh shit, I don't have an exit plan on these 3 miners, because I don't really understand them.
Yeah.
I do know that they're probably getting a bid they didn't get 4 years ago from the AI piece of this. And I suspect they're going to get a big old piece of it. Right. And by the way, it's only 4.5% of my whole portfolio of crypto. Yeah. So I'm not going to go broke if the miners go bad. Right. It's a relatively small, hey, 800 grand. It's relatively small position relative to my Bitcoin. And I actually just got talked into it. Like, I talked to a couple of people on the mining side. I went, okay, I can see how this would accelerate. And we have some history, right? We've seen this happen before, not just in Bitcoin, but in also gold markets and silver markets, in oil and gas markets, where the resource miner trades at a premium. You know, I think we're going to start to see oil and gas companies. I don't know what you think about this, but I think we're going to start to see oil and gas companies, their multiples are going to start to increase when people recognize none of this shit happens without Exxon.
Yeah.
Without extremely dense energy. It's either going to be nuclear, nat gas, or oil or coal that drives this AI world. It is not going to be hydro. And I mean, it could be hydro, but we don't have enough hydro. Yeah. So there's going to be so many. I think there's going to be monster opportunities here.
Yeah, I think one of the big opportunities is energy. I mean, just what you said there. Again, you know, I live in Texas. We've got a huge, you know, Texas got its own energy grid. ERCOT takes care of that. And, you know, matter of fact, I believe that Iron AI facility in West Texas is just right off that ERCOT grid over there. So, I mean, you know, really cheap energy coming in there. But, you know, I've been watching this stuff coming in here because just of the things we've had happen over the last few years with our energy grid and what's going on. And so we get the San Antonio area is getting huge. The energy, they're looking at the next 5 years, what the energy draw is going to be there and how much more it is than what we currently produce here. And so they've got to get that figured out. I mean, that's not going to not happen. It's going to happen. So they've got to get it figured out. How do we produce that energy? How do we get it here? And, you know, I think if you're looking for, you know, interesting plays, I think energy in one form or another is definitely should be at the top of your list. Because like you said, this stuff ain't happening without it. And especially when you get the high performance computing and AI, it's a significant energy draw, significant. And that's just on top of us using energy for everything else we do and electric cars and whatever else we got going on. So yeah, I think it's definitely something to look at.
Well, I think it only happens if you, I mean, I just noticed that the observation is so obvious, right? Wow. You have fossil fuel companies trading at multiples that are 7 times smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Exxon's at 11, NVIDIA's at 75. Now, how hard would it be for NVIDIA to buy Exxon?
Yeah. Well, if it keeps going like it is.
but you see what I'm saying, dude? There are multiple would supercharge fucking Exxon.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
And now I'm just picking NVIDIA because they could, okay, but like you could look at I'm not sure Exxon can buy NVIDIA.
Right.
See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That their capital is just like, I've been alive long enough to live through, wow, I lived through ExxonMobil being able to buy anything it wanted on the planet, to now computer builders are able to buy Exxon, dude. Like, wow,
it's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
All of a sudden, who's working for who now, right?
It's crazy, right? Like, to me, this is so exciting when you see these monster shifts. I'm not saying it's not going to go back, because it seems a little backwards to me. But anybody that doesn't think the next 15 to 20 years on this planet is not going to be exciting, to me, this is the reason to really engage with a bunch of people, and using all these mediums like we're using. It allows us, like, I've made some really cool friends here. Dude, you and I didn't know each other before Bitcoin.
No, sure didn't.
Right? Bitcoin brought us together, and I'm becoming a better person with a better community around me on a global scale. So I would just encourage people to invest a little bit of money in Bitcoin, whether it's $500, $5,000, $50,000, or $5 million. Come into this world, because there's something very unique going on. I've never had the opportunity when I was investing in my own companies or Chevron or whatever I was investing in. It didn't also come with this community effect. And there's something really, really interesting here, that I am making really high quality friends, connections, political. I mean, they're not meaningless. Okay, I have spent a lot of time on airplanes going to meetings to meet people I didn't know, and they turned out to be just meaningless meetings. Like, what a waste of time, right? I am using less energy and meeting more people and making more money than I have in my entire life. Yeah. And that is really, really cool. So I thank you for being in my universe, dude. If I see a bunch of guys here that are like getting into trading, if you guys are just getting into trading, it is a very different than investing. Check out Chris. Okay. He runs a program. I think it costs $4,000 a year to get you up to speed with the nomenclature, understanding how to read charts. He's using his own money. I haven't looked at his P&L. He seems like an honest cat to me. He's been very consistent for the year I've known him. That doesn't mean that he's going to make money every time, but I like the guy. I talk to him from time to time and get advice. I don't invest in his program because I'm not a trader, but if I was, I would most certainly do so.
I'm a big thing about, a lot of people that get out here and they kind of do something like what I do. And, they're just interested in churn. They don't worry about the churn. They're just interested in people coming in and buying. I'm telling you guys, if you're not serious about really wanting to understand how and why markets move the way they do, how to trade them effectively without leverage and still make, money and do all these great things. If you don't really want to, don't put the money in. I would rather you didn't, because it's just going to be a waste for you. But if you're serious, if you're really serious about it, you think, man, this is something that I could see if I learned, I could really use to, better my life over the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, man, come on in, because we'll bend over backwards to help you out. But again, if you aren't 100% committed to what you're doing, don't do it. It's just going to be a waste of money. And I really don't want you wasting money. You can at least follow me. I tend to give out a lot of educational free stuff, with the shows and things I do, like here with Gary, or on my own show, or the newsletters I put out, stuff like that. So you can still do that. But yeah, again, if you're not sure this is something you want to do, don't do it. And not just with me, but don't do it with anybody. It's just going to waste your money, guys. Yeah,
that's right. If you're not really serious, if you're not serious, don't buy his package, because he gets deep. If you want to listen to some Bitcoin bros, you can do that for $20 at 11 o'clock at night. 2 a.m. in the morning, the crypto bros are really active. Any other things? Any lasting comments? I know I've had you here or last comments. I've had you here for 30 minutes when we weren't even live. We've been live now 54 minutes. Guys,
good,
really
man.
appreciate
I love hanging out with you, man. I love hanging out with you because, listen, see, here's the thing, guys, in case you haven't figured it out. Anytime Gary says, "Hey, listen, Chris, would you like to?" I'm like, yes. I don't think about it. I'm just like, if I can make it work, if I've got the time, if we can make that time work, I'm yes. And it's precisely because Gary is exactly what you're seeing here. He's getting out here and he's trying to, one, share his experiences, which got him to where he is in life. I'm gonna tell you what, guys, stop listening to people that are not where you want to be in life. If you want to be at Gary's level, if you want to be at my level, these things, you listen to people like us. Don't listen to some random Yahoo online, okay? Two, Gary's like really trying to help people understand and learn. Three, Gary's really trying to learn himself. Gary is like me. We believe that you never stop learning. The minute you stop learning, I've said this for so long, the day you start falling behind, that's the day you start dying, right? You just stop growing. And I'm too old. I'm afraid to stop now because if I stop, I'm probably going to get older like that. And I don't want to do that. So, this is why I do so much with Gary, because he's somebody that I trust that's out there that really has like these genuine, like, I want to do these things. And I not just tell people and not just to feel big about myself, because I also want to learn along the way. And I think that's really important. I know a lot about trading. I've been doing it for 30 years, but I would never tell you I know everything there is to know about trading. Because again, if I believe that nonsense, I'm just going to stop trying. And everything's going to fall to hell. And so I appreciate you when you asked me to join in. I appreciate you when you are busy at a speed event over there in Miami. And you're like, "Hey, Chris, I saw you didn't have somebody to show, man. You need me to come on?" Man, I appreciate that you jump up and do that kind of stuff, man. It just, life's too short, I think, to kind of go out there and just kind of half-ass your way through it. Life's too short not to continue to get better every day. Life's too short to think you know everything you need to know about whatever the subject matter is. I think those are the reasons why people end up so miserable and so unhappy and never actually reach the levels that they want to reach in life. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate the kind words. You guys follow the space and make sure you have a little assignment today. As you know, this is the end of this session. I tell my daughter this. She's listening to me right now. And she, along with all of you guys, have to go do something very, very nice for someone that you maybe even don't like. Maybe you don't even know the people, okay? Do something nice for someone and you cannot take credit for it. Allie, you going to do something nice for somebody and not take credit for it today? Can't advertise, can't promote it, can't tell mommy about it. Awesome. You guys, my kid's going to do it. Let's do 1,000 nice things for people today and see if it, and by the way, when you do it and they say thank you, all you have to do is say, "Hey, why don't you repeat this?
Yeah.
Why don't you repeat this action? Go do something nice for somebody and don't advertise, okay? And then walk away." Peace, man. That's love, dude. That's love, okay? So we can really calm everybody down. Bitcoin is an awesome solution. The people around Bitcoin that I'm attracted to are nice, good people. It does not mean they're not going to make mistakes. It's not going to mean they're not going to be idiots from time to time. But the amount of wonderful people I've met from this community are absolutely, it's staggering to me, actually. I've met so many wonderful people in less than probably 3 years compared to the prior 30 or 40. And I met some cool people, but wow, there's a lot of really cool people here. And you're one of them, Chris. So you guys follow Chris. Thank you very much for today. Sorry for the, what's the word? The foul up. I'll see you guys later. Be strong. Thank you, man.